Hello, everyone. I'm Daniela Cucurullo, Vice President of TESOL Italy, and I'd like to welcome you to this session of TESOL Italy 47 Convention. Our speaker for this session is Inspector Gisela Langer. Gisela Langer specializes in curriculum development, plurilingual and cultural education, CLIL, and web-based teacher training. In addition to acting as foreign language inspector with the Italian Ministry of Education, she has extensive experience of working as an expert on European Commission, Council of Europe, the Program for International Student Assessment by the Organization for Economic and Cooperation Development. She has also been instrumental in the realization of innovative quality language learning practices through international projects on early language learning, the European Language Portfolio, the Common European Framework References Companion Volume, and CLIL in different parts of the world. The title of Gisela's session is CLIL for All, New Trends in Italy. Gisela, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Daniela. Good afternoon. Good morning. Well, we are afternoon, so we could even say good afternoon. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for offering the opportunity to present some of the new trends that we have been developing during the pandemic times. And I'm trying my best to make my presentation as interactive as possible. So I'm kindly asking the audience to write in the chat, and I know that Daniela, the Vice President, and Maria Grazia Maglioni, who is present as well, and who is the President of TESOL, who has been working really well during these past 2 years. So I'm asking them please to support me while developing some questions and my presentation. So I'm trying my best to share the screen and to come to what is my presentation, New Trends in Italy. Of course, we are in a very difficult time, as you all know, and we must not forget that the beautiful title that has been chosen for the conference, for the TESOL Italian conference, is a title that really refers to the Emily Dickinson phrase that has been mentioned at the beginning, at the opening this morning. But I think that this UNESCO dove really summarizes quite well all the different meanings and all the different translations that peace can have. And it's with the hope of a new world development activities and of course, new trends, positive trends, optimistic trends, and peaceful trends, thanks also to the language community that we are really trying to create new perspectives in our educational fields. Of course, UNESCO is strictly working within the United Nations, within the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. And I'd like you to understand that the Ministry of Education is activating different projects and suggesting regulations and guidelines because we are part of this global community, and TESOL is definitely a global community belonging to different continents and mainly based in the United States, but of course having different associations and organizations working in different parts of the world, and all definitely focusing the sustainable development goals, particularly quality education. So thank you very much for the work TESOL is doing for quality education all over the world. Just one suggestion: as language teachers, we are of course working on particular didactical fields, but the global citizenship education area should be also part of our work. And the reason is very simple. The reason is that Global Citizenship Education, GCED, aims to empower learners of all ages to assume active roles, both globally and locally. And again, the aim of GCED is to build more peaceful, more tolerant, more inclusive, and secure societies. Again, GCED is based on 3 domains: learning, cognitive, the socio-emotional, and the behavioral domain, which are vital in any development of language education. And that's why we have been organizing our activities in this country, focusing, of course, on English as the most important mainstream language, but plurilingualism is also part of our activities. And I would suggest you to give a look at Rai Scuola, Rai It, which is a channel totally devoted both online and also on TV screen. I really strongly suggest you to give a look at the cultural activities developed by the different cultural organizations that are in our country, including the British Council and the American Embassy. Of course, being part of a global community means to have clear ideas of how we should develop our professionals, and the general definitions that we all know, because we are part of the European Commission, of the European Union, and we all know that we develop our competencies according to the recommendation dated 2018. I think, though, that this visualization offer you the opportunity to focus more on our teaching professional attributes that are vital, and that what, in my opinion, is definitely the most important part of this slide is the teacher identity. Teacher identity is fundamental for associations such as TEDLs or other language associations or other subject teachers associations. But teacher identity is a way to focus on high standards of continuously ameliorate one's profession, of striving to improve, and what is most relevant, showing passion and motivating our learners. And of course, adaptive and resilient opportunities and the characteristics are what gives us a new imprinting for professionalism. Of course, other values mentioned in this slide are fundamental because we are all aiming at learner and learner-centered teaching profession. But keep in mind, we are also part of a community, and we must strictly interact with the community. No time to focus on skills and knowledge, but if you do not have important skills that really empower you to become a good teacher, I'm sorry to say, you are not going to perform at the best. And that's why I strongly suggest you to become part of a global CLIL community, because in this country, in the past years, we have developed world CLIL connections with different continents, in particular, most recently with Australia, but with Asia, China, Taiwan, Vietnam, and India. Lucilla Lopriore is part of an important project being developed in Taiwan, and other members such as Letizia Ciganotto is part of an important program being developed in India. I'm not getting into details of all the different world connections, but as you can see, all the continents are somehow interacting with Italy, focusing on what is a new trend in language education. And this new trend in language education, as you all know, has been defined by David Marsh back in the middle of the 90s of the last century. And I like this definition because content and language integrated learning has become part of the word, a common word shared definition. And it is focusing on a dual focus educational approach in which an additional language is used for the learning and teaching of both language and content. And this is what has been characterizing our choices in the country. The choices have been not only for English, which is definitely the leading language, but also for other languages. And Émile, enseignement d'une matière par l'intégration d'une langue étrangère, or CLIL, aprendizaje integrado de conocimientos curriculares y lenguas extranjeras, o SFAWA, Fremdsprachels, eccetera, eccetera, eccetera. In Italia usiamo l'acronimo CLIL perché non abbiamo trovato un acronimo che andasse bene in lingua italiana. So CLIL in Italy has been developing thanks to policies, regulations, and projects. A very, very quick summary of what is now going to become the new CLIL professional development qualification for teachers in all schools levels will be offered during this presentation. I will get into details about what's new in the new idea for CLIL professional development. But I must not forget that we are here now speaking about CLIL because since the last century, we have had the opportunity to develop European projects. And it is thanks to European projects, thanks to universities, thanks to schools, thanks to associations, language associations or other associations, that we have managed to create a strong community focusing on languages. And thanks also to many pilot projects, mainly in upper secondary schools, but in the past 10 years, many, many important projects have been developed in primary and lower secondary schools. We really must thank all the teachers and the head teachers and the principals, of course, as well, because they have been understanding that CLIL can help schools in developing change. And the reason is simple, because CLIL is based on learner centricity, is definitely creating a new way, a new approach to teaching, no face-to-face, but competence-based learning and learner autonomy are the three pillars on which we are trying our best to work with CLIL as a quality change agent. And CLIL has really changed the way teachers think. And well, the reason is simple, because CLIL definitely favors creativity. It requires actions and it requires functional learning spaces. You cannot have a face-to-face lesson with a typical face-to-face presentation, oral presentation, a teacher, a traditional teacher can develop. But you really need to build a space. You have to create an environment where students are protagonists and also use the space in order to put their own products and develop their own activities. So CLIL is definitely an important approach that promotes cross-curricular skills, promotes inquiry-based learning, promotes problem solving, and most important of all, promotes team working. And if you promote team working, you need to promote also international networking, partnership, and ventures that are the drivers, not only for CLIL development, but also for global citizenship. So CLIL is definitely favoring global citizenship. Of course, the Ministry of Education has been trying to develop training policies in the past and some activities as well. The Italian Ministry of Education has developed since 2013 national plans. Unfortunately, these plans have been developed a little bit randomly, not continuously, but and not as many courses as we could suggest have been offered. Yet, since 2013, methodological courses have been organized by universities and also language courses for subject teachers. I'm talking about courses that have been financed directly by the Ministry of Education. But I'm not talking about courses that have been organized by schools themselves and by the entrepreneurship of associations who have been supporting and are supporting schools. Unfortunately, the pandemic really stopped a development of national plans and national activities. But incredible to say, some projects during the pandemic became more and more important and offered the opportunity to interact to teachers from different regions in Italy. I'm talking about CLIL, which is a special project, an international project, where students are rewarded and are granted a label of excellence if they have a foreign language competence in two languages, if they have CLIL experiences, and then if they have European international competencies. CERTILingua has really offered the opportunity during these past 3 years to create new links among regions and to focus more on the importance of international experiences and the importance of CLIL. Of course, during the pandemic, the companion volume offered us the opportunity to really modify our way of creating new ways of using the CFR and using the descriptors. This companion volume, the new version of the Common European Framework, has been translated already in different languages, and we must thank the University of Milano, who has translated it into Italian and made it available on the European website. Just one visualization from the companion volume. A fictional profile for an additional language, lower secondary CLIL. This gives you the idea of the profile a student can develop, which is not a profile developed in the same way in all the different areas. It is a profile which is being developed according to the needs of focusing more on listening or on other activities. Needless to say, the ministry was able to activate some pilot projects, and thanks to the collaboration with Indire, 2 different publications were issued, and you can easily download them from both the Indire and the ministry website. Online interaction is becoming part and is definitely facilitating exchanges with our students. Our platform, Lingue e Culture, was developed during the pandemic. We needed to have a website where to find all information about languages. And that's why we created this autonomous platform. It's not linked to any institution, but it's a place where you can find information and where you can offer your materials to be definitely shared in different contexts. Another aspect of the pandemic was trying our best to make teacher protagonists of what was happening. And I really thankful to all the teachers who contributed to the national TV programs that were offered in 7 different languages. And I suggest you to give a look at raiscuola.rai.it on the CLIL lessons that are organized thanks to the goodwill and the real challenge that many teachers were able to accept. And so CLIL lessons in different languages are being offered. I also suggest you to give a look at the new line, which is Laboratorio Scuola. Unfortunately, only 20 presentations are offered for 20 programs are offered for this at the moment. We are hopefully developing some more. And particularly one half an hour divided into different parts on CLIL and Emil Ezebach, in my opinion, is of interest for you. And again, another program for plurilingual education with the Italo-Canadian team who is offering a presentation at 2 o'clock today is offered as well. But now let's come to the point. How did you become a CLIL language teacher? I'm using slides in Italian because I'm talking about typical bureaucratical examples. And in the past, you would become a CLIL teacher according to a 20 credit course organized by universities. And these courses were for licei and istituti tecnici. But at the moment, you are changing, we have been changing with a new decree. And this decree was issued on June 23rd by the Department of Education. And again, it is a typical decree that has created the cooperation of different stakeholders, trade unions included. And the novelty is the fact that it is for students, for teachers coming from Scuola dell'Infanzia up to upper secondary school. So I strongly suggest if you have it to read the paper copy of the magazine Tutto Scuola, which was issued in September 22, or also to give a look at the webinar that Tutto Scuola organized in September. And incredible, more than 900 participants, 40% of them subject teachers, were present for the launch of this new decree. Let's now come to get into an explanation of this decree. You can easily find it on the web of the ministerial web. You just digit Decreto Dipartimentale CLIL and you will get it. And again, Tutto Scuola is also offering some information on it. Let's now come to what this methodological courses are offering. These methodological courses are, let me get to Articolo 1. Articolo 1 of the decree focuses on the general characteristic of the course for the teachers who are working in Italian schools. So I'd like you to understand that this 20 courses decree is only for in-service teachers, be docenti a tempo, docenti a tempo determinato o docenti a tempo indeterminato. I'm trying my best to explain it in detail. So these are courses that universities can offer only with the cooperation of the ministry and only for in-service teachers. Of course, what is important to understand, who are the teachers involved, of course, but also what is the profile that is coming out. And I strongly suggest a very quiet and not too fast reading of Allegato A, attachment A, and Allegato B. The decree is quite long, it's about 20 pages, and it takes time to get into it, but it's very important, in my opinion, for you to get into it. So in both attachments, you will see where the training is, what is the training is aiming, that is area di riferimento, and the definition of the different attività formative di base, attività formative caratterizzanti, and then other activities. For this reason, I think that it will be important for you to understand, I'm just getting into gli obiettivi formativi dei percorsi, and then gli obiettivi formativi per il profilo della scuola dell'infanzia. It's important to understand that you can be a language teacher, you can be a CLIL teacher, you can be a quality CLIL teacher if you have some special and precise, of course, training, and therefore obiettivi, objectives, aims are possedere competenze pedagogiche e linguistiche comunicative, conoscere principi teorici, conoscere e attivare forme di educazione linguistica, language education based on action approach, action-oriented approaches. And then, of course, strategie didattiche, strategies and sensibilizzazione e capacità di sviluppare esperienze e declinazioni culturali. Therefore, paying attention also to cultural aspects. But what is, I think, more important for anyone is to find and choose and adapt materials and be able to actively create learning path and learning units typical of such situations. I'm asking help to Daniela, please give a look. If I'm asking a question to teachers, if someone present here is from primo ciclo di istruzione, there is scuola dell'infanzia o scuola primaria. I'm trying my best to focus on this kind of training of the objectives, but of course, what is relevant for both teachers in preschool and primary is that they really must master the language. If you do not master the language, you are not able to offer good CLIL classes. You should master the language, and that's why the profile we organized, it's a profile which focuses on language area and also on the pedagogical aspects. Daniela, do we have
one for the moment? You can write in the chat if you're a primary school teacher or scuola dell'infanzia.
Okay, so because if we have many, I will focus more on this. Otherwise, I'll focus on the other.
Not for the moment, no.
Not for the moment. Okay, so, but I'm taking this as an example in order to make you understand that either you have both a strong language competence, and we decided B2 or more than B2 for primary and preschool, because we didn't want to make them afraid of facing this new way of considering education. And of course, in the attachment A, all the different activities that are going to be organized by universities are being well explained. Of course, I was mentioning that this course is, in Article 2, is offering information that can guide teachers, even if you do not attend any of these professional courses. These are ideas that you can follow in order to improve your way of teaching. So this decree is meant to be a way of organizing new professional developments for teachers, but it's also a way of making teachers consider the importance of having themselves clear in mind what are the steps they need and what are the suggestions we have. As I was mentioning, Article 3 is focusing on the people who can attend these courses, and the teachers are all teachers a tempo determinato e teacher a tempo indeterminato. Now, please, Daniela, can you see if there are teachers from upper secondary school? So if there are teachers from upper secondary school, I would like to know, so I will focus more on some of the big issues that we are definitely focusing. And what is important is to find, is to realize that either, again, you can start developing CLIL with a minimum B2, but which will then, for upper secondary schools, will be C1, since, again, in upper secondary schools, either you have a good competence or you cannot make it. But again, who is saying the course is valid? The Ministry of Education or the regional educational authority. Again, this is quite important because it is not a free offer course. The 60 credit course can be a free offer course from universities, generally speaking. But for these 20 credit courses that are for in-service teacher, either the ministry centrally or the regional offices must give permission. Now, universities must have special requirements, must really have special requirements, and I'm not getting into details for it. But I want to spend some time on this particular slide. Daniela, any news from our...
Yes, we are both from lower secondary school and upper secondary school.
Great. Okay, so I'll focus more on them. Now, lower and upper secondary schools will have a new course for them, and both lower and upper will work together. And the title, the certificate they will get from university will be valid both from lower and upper secondary school. I'm focusing on Article 4 because this article really makes it clear that you can have the ministry organizing the training, but uffici scolastici regionali, regional school education offices can organize with special protocols with universities the different courses. So in case you have a network of schools or even a couple of schools with a university and associations, altri soggetti pubblici o privati. So an association such as TESOL or other language associations could organize in collaboration with one or more schools, and of course, having the permission from uffici scolastici regionali, they will be able to activate new courses. What is important, in my opinion, is to understand that CLIL is really recreating a new way of considering both language teachers and subject teachers. Well, we no longer work separately in schools. We are asked to create interactive learning, interactive teaching. And I was happy to find this slide, which is a creation of Sirio Di Giulio Maria, who was a former president of TESOL and also a member of other language associations and other projects in Italy. And of course, I know that many teachers, many language teachers feels very tired and sick of being the leaders, of trying their best to promote new activities. And I know that many of you feels like a little cat, particularly teachers who belong to other fields, particularly discipline non linguistiche, that is subject teachers. I know that many of the teachers have not been able to cope with some of the requirements that this new decree has been developed. Yet CLIL has been blossoming in the past years, and CLIL is nearly, in my opinion, creating a new way of considering content as a vital part of language learning and teaching, but CLIL Tandem have been moving our schools to new different ways of considering education. And I'm happy to say that CLIL teams have been favoring working together in different subject area, not only with subject teachers, but also with digital technology experts and language assistants. We had today in the morning the British Council and the presence of the American Embassy, who reminded us that they have been supporting a program of language assistance that is favoring definitely an amelioration of our competencies in our schools. So remember, CLIL teams are really part of our new ways of considering schools. And the new decree will offer us the possibility of developing new ways of activating CLIL classes. What we should do now is doing our best to strengthen CLIL teams and communities in different parts of the world. I've already mentioned CLIL at India, which has been an Erasmus project developed in the past. I'm talking about, and I've already mentioned, a Canada-Italian collaboration with the 3 regions being involved in this. And just to end up with a word connection, on October the 28th, thanks to a video conferences, we had 2 schools, one in Australia, 10 hours and a half ahead, and an Italian class discussing together. So virtual communication is facilitating interaction and is facilitating focusing on different topics. In this case, the topic was food, and students really showed that belonging to learning communities, belonging to networks, and having universities supporting our research and practical activity can really offer a new start to CLIL teacher training in Italy. I mentioned the new decree that is now going to be implemented. One suggestion: work as much as you can and at best as you can, and definitely merit at this time must be recognized. Academically, we have made a decree which recognizes academically the importance of this new way of organizing CLIL courses from preschool to upper secondary school. And keep in mind, connect, share, and inspire will be a way of being rewarded, not only academically, but hopefully also financially. Thank you very much for your attention. One final word: we are here because we believe in peace and we hope to work together. And if there are any questions on the chat, don't I will re-answer you, but I'm not on time to do it right now. Let's hope to have future opportunities. And thank you very much to both Maria Grazia Maglione and Daniela Futurullo for supporting all these activities, which helps really in creating community. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Gisella. What to say? We never get tired of hearing you. You are such a volcano of ideas, projects, useful links. So really great webinar, insightful and highly informative. I think that we've run out of time, but they really appreciated your talk. So a lot of ideas and hints will reflect on that. Thank you for participating. I also want to thank all the participants for taking part in this session. I want to remember that now we have the lunch break, but please do not forget to visit the virtual booth and exhibitors hall. The next session will be at 2 p.m. And also remind you that certificate of attendance will be available to download from website at the end of the convention. Enjoy the next 2 days of convention.
You said that the road to happiness was long and winding. You said that the forest would get dark, and that the ground could shift here upon this hill we're climbing. No matter how close we get, we're still so far. But I trust we'll find the clearing. I'm trusting the trail. No matter what we're feeling, there's one way we can't fail. Let's just keep hiking. Let's plant our feet. Let's just keep hiking. Keep hiking with me. Hold my hand, baby, keep hiking with me. You said the road up to success was an impossible test, unless we had some sort of map. And I could feel it in my chest just as our feet begged us to rest. I think this just might be the end of that. But I said I trust we'll find the clearing.